Alright, welcome back class. So this is video 2 where we're going to start working on our internal walls. So let me go back to my top-down view. So the next step we're going to start doing is sketching those internal walls. So I'm going to hit the sketch button. I'm going to again click on the face, and I'm going to now start drawing my walls. So you'll notice in my picture I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So about 2 inches down, I shouldn't say about, at 2 inches down I've got a wall that goes 2 inches wide. So walls are rectangles. I'm going to start from the internal wall. I'm just going to kind of pick a spot. I'm going to make it, just drag it out. And so at this point I've got a rectangle, might be about the right size, not sure. So now we're going to work on constraints, which is another word for dimensions that are just locked down to a reference point. So I'm going to hit the dimension button. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the width of this wall just to make sure it's 1/8 of an inch. So I hit the dimension button, I clicked on the bottom edge of the wall. Now I'm going to click on the middle or the top edge of the wall. And I'm going to change that to 1/8 of an inch. So now the question I always get is, well, Mr. McDonald, how do I know how far it is from the top? How far do I know it is from the edge? So in this case, I'm going to click the dimension from the outside wall to the bottom of this wall. And I'm going to just drop this dimension line here somewhere in the middle. Again, that line was supposed to be about 2 inches. So for this purpose, I'm going to do 2 inches. You'll notice as I'm doing this, the lines of the wall are turning black. That means they're now locked in place. This one here is blue. I haven't set any sort of constraint, so it can still be changed and it won't error out. So I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to click on my far left wall. I'm going to drag this up. And again, it was only supposed to be a 2 inch wall from the outside. So change that to a 2, hit enter. You'll notice now all of my lines are black. So that wall is completely locked into place. So now from there, I had a 1 inch up, and then I had a 2 inch over. So we're going to make both those walls real quick. So again, we're making rectangles. I'm going to start from the corner here, click up, go about 1 inch. I'm then going to dimension the wall, so the outside to the inside. It's 1/8 of an inch wall. And then that line to the top should be 1 inch for that wall to be 1 inch wide. You'll notice all the other lines are black. I don't have to worry about dimensioning those anymore. So my next one, going back to my reference document, is this line here going over 2 inches. So again, it starts right here at this corner. It goes over roughly 2 inches. Again, it doesn't matter what I get here because I'm going to be changing it all here in a second. I dimension, but we'll do our thickness first. And now all I need is this wall. So I'm going to do it from the outside. I could do it from any of these black lines because those are all locked down. But for me, it's easier to always do it from the edges, just because you have a 0 point. So since I know that that line goes over to my 4 inch mark, I know it needs to go to 4 inches from the external wall to 4 inches. So now, I have this shape here built. Now down at the 4 inch mark, I've got another wall. So I'm going to draw another rectangle here. Click on the dimensions wall. the dimensions and do the thickness of the walls. 1/8 of an inch. Now this one here was supposed to be right at the 4-inch mark, so I'm going to go from the top of it to the outside. Now I'm going to go from that little blue wall to here. And this should have been a 2-inch wall, so there we go. Now one thing you'll notice that I'm not taking into account for, so I'm not being hyper scientific or mathematical with this. While this was supposed to be my 0 point and this was supposed to go to 2 inches, well it does, that's why I did the dimensions line that way. This is why I did not click the internal wall. If I went with the internal wall, I would not be taking into account that 1/8 of an inch. So this would really be at 2 1/8 inch if I had dimensioned it to be 2 inches wide. So it's hypercritical to know which line is your zeros, where you're putting walls, so that way you get the right dimensions. At this point, I'm going to pause the video, and we'll be back in just a second to kind of show you what the rest of this looks like once I've drawn in all of the dimensions and all of the walls. Alright, so welcome back. I've gone ahead and I've drawn in all of the walls and I've dimensioned them all. So you'll know when you're done when all of your walls have turned black in color, nothing is blue. So that means you've properly dimensioned everything. I've also gone through and I've added some appearances to it, but we'll work on that in the next video after we make the holes. So at this point, to show that you've finished making all of the walls, you should look something like this. And again, the way you get those walls to extrude is just like we did before. You click on your sketch, you hit extrude, and we're going 1 inch. And you'll end up with your 1-inch walls. Alright, so that's the basics on how to make your internal walls. So go ahead and do that for the rest of your sketch. And I'll catch you in the next video when we talk about how to make the holes. Thanks, bye.